Hello everyone, welcome back to Spar and Brawl. I hope you're having a decent day. So as always, of course, I'm joined by my co-host Sam. And yeah, we just recorded something which we'll be uploading later, but we thought maybe we'll take this opportunity to go over a few quote unquote progressive tweets about Russia and Ukraine. So these ones aren't actually from our episode, our usual podcast from Friday. So if you want, you can go check that out. These are brand new tweets that I collected on Wednesday morning. So please like and subscribe, of course, if you've been a long-time viewer and you haven't considered doing so. But okay, Sam, with that out of the way, should we jump right into these tweets?
Sure. First,
all right, let's start with the first one. And the first one is a long thread. So we're going to read the first one and then we'll kind of discuss them. We won't necessarily read them. So Ben Burgis had made a thread on Twitter saying what Putin is doing in Ukraine is really is like what Bush did to Iraq, and a few leftists you'll see on YouTube debates or whatever who generally don't get this are deeply unpleasant, blah, blah, blah. I don't actually have the rest of the tweet with me here, but perhaps we have it in the thread after. We'll get into it.
Yeah.
Aaron responded to that. What Putin is doing in Ukraine really is like what Bush did to Iraq. And those lefties who don't get are deeply unpleasant weirdos, quoting Ben.
Yeah.
And then he goes, let's put aside his totally pleasant unpleasant, I guess, ad hominem argument.
No,
and
he's being sarcastic.
Oh yeah, pleasant ad hominem attack, I guess, and evaluate his argument. So we're going to look at those. But before that, of course, Anna Kasparian managed to put, at the end of all this thread, she managed to put the most useless tweet out there as per usual. And I'm not the only one saying that. This 30 or so people who also commented under that said, yeah, good job with this argument. She did not get one retweet. I mean, yeah, I don't know who would retweet this, but I mean,
within 10 hours.
So she wrote, you're a deeply unpleasant weirdo. Thanks for that. Anna
As opposed to
Kasparian.
Anna, completely normal human being who shares pictures of private parts of people online. Something normal people do. You know, it's just something you do normally.
Yeah.
Completely normal, you know. I mean, not that who's normal anyway, but you get my point. But
so Sam, wait, hold on. What really got my attention was that, so let's show this thread, show these messages, I'll put them on the screen. I really wanted Ben Burgis to develop what he sees as those similarities, but the next few tweets, I'll be flashing down the screen. We don't have to read all of them. You point out which ones you want to read, but none of them really do that. Yeah.
He also, the next tweet, he criticizes the people who call for no-fly zone. He says they are the most dangerous one. But then there is this thread you send me, which is, I don't understand any, like,
it's hard to get what
I don't get it. I don't understand. I don't understand. While I doubt anyone on the left is insane enough to echo that.
So I think, sorry, let me cut you off there. I think there he's referring to the last one that you just read. So about the no-fly zone.
So, all right. So, okay. Nobody on the left, obviously. Okay. Largely, vaguely progressive. But, this is the part I don't understand. It's in quotation mark. I don't know who he is quoting. Larger, vaguely progressive shading to much more leftist online and media space, who have to degree or another been swept up in general atmosphere of jingoistic hysteria.
I mean, we probably don't present. We probably don't present the arguments well, but I think Ben Burgis is taking a bit. I mean, just the thread in general, it doesn't add up the messages one to another, especially with the initial one.
See, this is beyond that. We are at grammar and syntax level right now. I don't understand who have to degree or another been to some degree or to what the hell is going on here? I don't understand anything. My brain is having.
I wouldn't bother too much with these ones. Let's go to the next slide. And yeah, sure, continue.
Wait, I just wanted to.
I told you not to get bogged down. That's why I showed Sam these first few tweets. I was like, we're just gonna discuss them and move past them.
I enjoy.
Go ahead.
I'm like a pig. I enjoy wrestling in the mud. Suggestions that Russian concern, paranoia, whatever, about NATO expansion really was a significant part of the motivation for everything Russia has done in Ukraine in the last 8 years, or that everything on the on the table negotiations to arrive at a diplomatic settlement would be by far the best way for this to end. What? What? What would this? This has nothing to do with that. I don't know. Like, yeah.
Yeah. And maybe
Yeah.
his first tweet that unfortunately only had his response from Aaron, maybe that one, in the next 5 words that are cut off there, he said something that explains everything that comes after, but I highly doubt it. I mean, my apologies if that's the case.
I'm not, I don't even know. I don't agree or disagree. I just want better, like, we just talked. It reminds me of German philosophers, really, this type of right. What the fuck is going on? Like, what?
But okay,
anyway, I don't.
Let's be as fair as we can to him to go to the next one. So the next one, he responded to someone asking something. That's why I wrote, I don't see how. So the person wrote, I don't see how. And he wrote, illegitimate wars of aggression, the respect to which Ukraine and Iraq are similar, are often motivated, at least in part, by sincerely held paranoia, like there's no doubt in my mind. And his generals rally did worry about dominoes falling in Southeast. Really, sorry.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we'll get into Aaron Maté's responses, but just in general, what do you make of this really big need to kind of either say that Ukraine is like Iraq or it's not? I mean, everything in some ways are similar, right? But it's like, are these similarities useful here to bring up? And I think about it, I mean, we'll hear what Aaron says. That's one reason. So the context, why it happened, the build-up, it being next to the country, right next to them. Some of them don't justify, but they are the context. And my really thing about this comparison that bothers me a bit is that hopefully it doesn't turn out to be anything like Iraq, because I mean, it's only been 2 weeks. There have been scores of civilians' death, and the Russians are attacking all kinds of places. But the Iraq War, one horrible thing about it is not only that the Iraq War happened and it started, it's just the way that it was also conducted during all those years and the phases that went through and the torture that happened. And all of these things, maybe they'll happen also in Ukraine. So then there'll be some other parallels to mention. But also, we're judging Iraq, which was a horrendous thing, years after it kind of finished, and we saw all the horrible things that came out of it. So it's also premature in that sense, if you ask me this comparison. Isn't a better comparison, by the way, Yemen and Saudi Arabia? Isn't that because there's also kind of civil war, which the Saudis, of course, got going a bit. Is the country, located very closely to them. They try to win over that civil war, which they created. And hopefully it won't continue like that for Ukraine, because that went from them having all that attention, money, and media to now being forgotten. But of course, civil war is continuing in Yemen. So hopefully this comparison will also not be a accurate one down the line.
I mean, look, first of all, yeah, I think all the analogies used in this are pretty shit. Ukraine, Iraq, Vietnam. And Johnson, I mean, okay, yeah, I'm sure Johnson was a bit paranoid and, he was an idiot. So, makes sense. But all right, you can argue that, or it's kind of like this idea that in the people in media, are they actually biased themselves? Do they know that they're lying and stuff? It doesn't matter. It's like, if you're Marxist or if you're leftist or if you're serious, I think you just focus on the materialistic conditions that created a war or created the incentive for Johnson to, for example, escalate the Vietnam conflict or whatever. So, and by the way, from what I recall, Johnson was trying to, it's famously, I'm pretty sure Johnson is historically accurate. Johnson almost came to a peace agreement with the Vietnamese at the end of his presidency, but then Nixon team basically through an indirect channel told the Vietnamese that they get a better peace if they waited for after the election, and then Nixon won the election and then he escalated the war. So he traded everywhere. But yeah, so I just don't think analogies are useful. And illegitimate wars of aggression. So Ben Burgis here is using the language of international law. So, and if, or morality. I mean, I don't know. So illegitimate in what, again, yeah, you have to.
I mean, it's true. I mean,
Why do you?
Yeah, I
don't
mean, in a sense,
understand.
of course, there was an invasion of a country. I mean, of course, you can find parallels. Some say it's about energy, and now this is also about energy. But I mean, okay, then every conflict is is about natural resources and energy. So I mean, if we're drawing that kind of thing, like, yeah, sure. I'm just trying to wrap my head around, maybe there are some other parallels that that will show themselves and they'll be useful and that will change and what people are saying about it. But so far, this Iraq thing. But yeah, go ahead, and then we'll just move on to Aaron's responses quickly, and then we can continue with the other more simple tweets.
I think the best, to be honest, the best parallel for this war right now is Crimean War, because I think in the Crimean War was also sort of the English sort of at first they were like, yeah, guys, go get your independence from the Tsar. Come on, guys, come do it. And then it became one of the everybody lost in that. Everybody pretty much lost in that. So I don't get it. Anyway,
all right, let's get Aaron's response to that. So Aaron wrote that Bush fabricated a pretext and sabotaged diplomacy to invade Iraq, thousands of miles away. Then he wrote, in neighboring Ukraine, Russia saw US back a 2014 coup, fuel a proxy war that has killed 14,000, tried to expand NATO there, and meanwhile killed arms control treaties that limit US Russia arsenals. So, I mean, I guess people could kind of say
I think he's definitely right.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, people could some of those things. I mean, they could be like, oh, I don't know. Putin also didn't do the best kind of diplomacy out there, but to that extent.
He didn't. But I mean, look, I mean, what does that anyway? Like, you can say Putin's thing is bad, but okay, it's not as bad. Like, I don't know,
I guess that's how we like to compare and understand things in life, is to make analogies and references. I mean, in everything, right? You're trying to explain something, you're like, forget about it. Think about this. There are two chickens, right? And like a rabbit. You're like explaining city planning or something, and then you're like, okay. Listen, the old saying, 2 ducks and a frog? Like, no. I don't know. But let's keep this Aaron Maté part.
This reminds me, just like when I was 14 and I had a conflict with my neighbor over the football ball. It was a similar situation, just like that, right? I mean, okay, whatever. I mean, not that, by the way, like, I do think Russia got played in the end. Like, they stupid mistake to attack Ukraine.
But 2 more here to wrap up this tweet. So he wrote, a peace accord to end the Donbass war was reached in Minsk in 2015. So it's Aaron
That's
Maté.
true.
The US says it supports it, but has put no pressure on Kiev to implement it. And the reason is obvious. It would take the NATO membership off the table. And finally, he wrote, US responded to Russia's proposal by refusing to abandon NATO for Ukraine. As I've said, I wish Putin had continued diplomacy instead of invading, but to say what he's doing is like what Bush did to Iraq, is Iraq weapons of mass destruction level US apology. And again, Anna tops off everybody by saying, you're unpleasant.
Taliban used to have these, it was really funny when there was the government, I don't know, American-backed government in charge, early years especially. There was these schools, not Taliban, I guess, but these religious schools. Taliban used to come from there, and they had the female branches, and they would have these bunch of females that would come to female press conferences, and just like everything they got, you're traitors to our land, you useless. Weirdo, you creep. Just anything they would say about, like, okay, today we have energy plans that are, oh, you traitor, you're a traitor, you Anna is kind of, I feel like, just doing the same, just on mute on Twitter.
I mean, we've discussed this before, but I mean, sometimes the amount that she hates Aaron Maté really makes me think that, I don't know, I'm like, we know all the reasons why she hates him, but
they should get a room and just get it over with.
Unless it's personal, nobody hates someone to that extent. So some people have pointed out to, perhaps Aaron a few times when, he took a few jabs at her journalistic skills or like background, or the fact that she teaches, those became personal. Madeleine Albright thing, but it's just nobody hates someone that much unless they have a personal beef. I don't know.
If they do end up together, though, it would be a great sort of a Hollywood movie. Like, it would be fantastic.
Jimmy Dore doing the ceremony.
Yeah. Cenk handing Anna.
Stop.
Is Anna married? I don't know. I hope. Yeah.
No, Anna is married. To a former baseball player. She always talks about it. But really? Okay, Pepe Escobar. Pepe also writes some cryptic tweets, but I managed to find one that's like, I understood what he's saying. So Pepe Escobar, huge journalist, said Turkey imports 70% of its wheat from Russia. Top reason for Ankara's current hyper diplomacy.
This is the funniest thing. I've been following this in Iranian news.
Yeah, tell me a bit about that.
Man, it's so funny. To be honest, from like 2 weeks before the war started, Erdogan and his foreign minister. So Putin, Mr. Putin, do you want us to, we can sort of mediate. We can, Turkey can mediate.
Yeah.
It's Turkey is killing it. And Putin is like, no, no, I don't want to talk to you. I don't like you. And Ukrainians, do you want us to mediate? Mediate? Like Turkey is trying. It's Turkey's usual thing. They like in a lot of places, including in Turkey, a lot of people make fun of Turkey for always trying to become part of clubs that it has no sort of with the EU is guys come on, let us in the EU, we're European, come on. There is about like half a centimeter of our nation is within what is considered Europe.
What are borders anyway? It's a social construct. Erdogan.
Who am I? What is identity? Identity doesn't mean it. And now they're trying so hard to become like a global power in the region and stuff, and always trying to mediate. And Russians are not happy with Turkey, especially after Nagorno-Karabakh and after selling the drones to Ukraine and all that. So they're like, no, fuck you. But now apparently today they apparently agreed to meet in Ankara or something. I think.
I see. I haven't heard that.
But Turkey as usual is trying so hard, trying too hard to become part of the cool gang. It's like, calm down, buddy. Calm down.
Macron is also doing a bit of the same. He really wants to, be the person who talks and negotiates a bit. But he has an election coming up. And I was listening to him on the TV. He was so funny. It was just like a quick thing on radio. And he kept on doing this thing where he divided himself between the candidate and the president. He's like, I want to be in candidate mode as much as I can, but this requires me to be a president now. And he was talking about himself in third person about these 2%. Christ. It was hilarious because he's already had 2 phone calls with Putin that lasted 90 minutes. So he's just like loving it.
Yeah. He's, I mean, we'll see if, I don't know if this thing is going to work in his favor, against him. It will be interesting because gas prices, if things go accordingly, gas prices are going to continue to increase and all that. So we'll see.
Oil and gas prices now. So before it was
oil and gas.
Yeah, so hitting 2 different kind of areas in Europe. Yeah, 100%. I mean, 2 different aspects, keeping people's houses warm and factories and all this, and putting oil in cars. Sam, the next tweet, I was blown away. I don't understand why media, like a team of media that, runs Vogue magazine can be this stupid. But Sam, he brought this to my attention. So, whatever. He wrote that. Okay, so Gigi Hadid, I was telling you, she's like a huge model, right? Who has Palestinian dad or something and is very active, supporting support Palestine and these kind of things. So she wrote, so Gigi Hadid pledged to donate her earnings from fall 2022 to relief efforts for occupied Ukrainians and occupied Palestinians. And then Vogue magazine just erases the Palestinian from the Instagram post on her pledge. So I guess she works very closely with Vogue. Yeah, I mean, I went on her Instagram page and I read the original one. I mean, it references Palestinians so many times. And then Vogue just took it. And apparently in the first version of the caption, they had quoted the girl and put like her Palestinian stuff in quotes. But then they decided, no, even that, let's remove it. Let's just leave Ukrainian. And of course, in the comment section, everyone's like, free Palestine, Palestinian flag, take this down. I mean, do you have to be so stupid? Okay, she put her post this way, just incorporate it in a smarter way, or don't make this post. I mean,
yes. And by the way, do they think does Vogue think their Instagram page is like extremely like trend setting thing, like, oh guys, now we supported the Palestinian guys. It's gonna be a game changer for Palestine. The Vogue magazine. I'm sure
Yeah.
Mahmoud
But
Abbas is like, guys, we got Vogue. Vogue is on our side now.
but Sam, it stabs into the narrative, I guess, right? If you start comparing Ukraine to other crises, you kind of lose the idea that this is not the
And then
only
maybe
crisis going on.
and people may be asking, maybe why don't we sanction other places who do crazy shit like that? So
yeah. So
we actually talk about that later, kind of.
Despite our indifference, despite how we feel about Mehdi Hassan and all this, I mean, here he brought my attention to this, and I went and checked the posts; they were true. So, really stupid. I mean, all I can say is just stupid. I'm not even like saying right or wrong. It's just stupid. But anyway,
exactly. It's just so like so unsubtle, even like anyway. Beyond ridiculous.
So this no-fly zone, next one, Kyle Kulinski, this I understood during the Syrian war, what it means. And I guess maybe you can tell me if I got the full understanding of this. So first, Jenna Barnes wrote, thousands of people marching on Michigan Avenue yelling close the sky over Ukraine. Then Kyle wrote, media has done an atrocious job of educating the public on this. No-fly zone in World War III, whatever. But no-fly zone really does mean, like, I mean, it does come to something this simple, but I guess people don't know. I mean, a lot of people watch our stuff, they know, but a lot of people in public maybe, which is like, okay, no-fly zone means what? Means someone needs to enforce everything. Someone needs to enforce, right? You can have laws or whatever. If nobody enforces, they're meaningless. So what does it mean enforcing? It means as simple as shooting down Russian planes or whatever planes you find the sky, right? I mean, the problem with no-fly zone really comes down to as simple as that, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like Obama with Syria. He said there are red lines, and he didn't enforce them because, that's why Biden doesn't want to say this. It's ridiculous. I mean, I hope it is ridiculous. I've been reading a couple of articles recently, and a lot of people are becoming somewhat blasé about the sort of a possibility of a World War III. They're like, a nuclear bomb here and there doesn't hurt too many people. It's what nuclear winter lasts 100 200 years. I'm sure some form of mutated version of humanity will crawl back up outside the mud, and it will be fine.
I mean, Japan is still there, right?
Japan is still there. Nope. There was no what do you say, there was no consequences because of that. Was there any like radiation remained there? Nothing like that. No, come on. But by the way, I just love the fact that thousands of people where is Michigan Avenue? Do you know which city it is, or which?
I think
in America,
I think it's in New York.
I mean,
I'm just guessing. I don't know.
I don't understand. Do people have no jobs or lives really? Like, how much free time do you have to go to protest for different countries?
If they care, good for them. They're just not protesting in the right way, unfortunately. And
I don't like any protest of. Just focus on your fucking life.
I mean, if this is something you care, that's different. But
Batman.
I know. I'm saying if you
pretty much.
No, if someone cares, I mean.
No, yes, okay, but still, I think people should stop caring about things they don't know shit about. Although I would say it's not media's job to educate the public. Media is not their media. Yeah.
No, they claim that's their job, pretty much.
Do they?
Yeah, I mean, like by bringing the news and information.
Okay, a lot of people claim a lot of things, but we know they're after money.
But I mean, at least, but they do claim it.
You go to
no.
We don't know even since when we are believing what people claim.
Yeah, but your mission statement, you can take that semi-seriously. Like, of course, they don't follow it, but you can be like, isn't this what you say? Isn't this that you're saying that even Google, even anything? That's
okay.
True.
But then they go, it's kind of like Democrats and Republicans. They say, "Oh, Mitch McConnell, if he breaks his promise, he's gonna look like a hypocrite." He doesn't care. No one cares. It's not their job to. You could say it's educational system's job to educate.
No, that too. But also, I mean, I guess. When you bring up a concept, you're supposed to kind of explain it. So, of course, they don't do their job well. So, I mean.
They do it well. They do it great.
In their own, for what they want. for their
Yes.
objectives. Yeah.
Yes,
But
exactly.
not for
They're
their
doing it
stated
fantastic.
objectives.
No, but
Yeah.
then who states their objectives openly in politics? Like, you have to be a
Yeah.
pretty stupid person.
Yeah.
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 Yeah,
No,
I'm
I agree with you
actually
there.
here, trying to sell. I got a check from Raytheon, guys, and I don't know how to, like, I have a quota of 20 javelins I have to sell to Ukraine. Yeah, anyway, so
Yeah.
I'm just saying, it's just stating the obvious.
Yeah, okay, fine, that's fine. Okay, the next one, Sam, let me set it up a bit, say a few things, because so here Glenn Greenwald quoted this segment that was, of course, a Stephen Colbert segment, and he wrote that Stephen Colbert, who owns 15 million per year from CBS and has a net worth approaching 100 million, says it's worth it to endure higher gas prices so that you have a clean conscience. And Bri also tweeted under that, this particular propaganda piece is sending me. So this is not
What
just
does
me
that
saying
mean?
this, huh?
What does that mean, sending me?
Oh, I can't believe it, or I don't know, I guess it's really making me. But this is not just Sam and me saying this, because I read the comments and everybody was like, Glenn and Bri, we really like you guys, but did you guys watch the video? He really seems like he was being sarcastic for two reasons. First, he does this, people should go watch this. I'm sorry, I can't even play 1 second of it, or copyright. It will be flag for copyright. Yeah, Colbert will come here, and this time he won't be joking. Before I was joking with you, I'm not joking. Beat me to death here. But no, I mean, he said, yeah, let's stop buying our oil from Russia. Let's buy from the good people, the Saudis. So there's that joke. And at the end, he says, yeah, who cares if it goes up to $15? I drive a Tesla anyway. So, I mean, I think he was clearly joking and being sarcastic, but I don't know. I feel like you had a more nuanced take when we talked about it before.
I think you actually point, like, when I was watching it, I came to the conclusion, and you said it though, like, that it's the audience didn't get it though.
The audience didn't get it either.
And the audience on his show, the audience on Late Show especially, but on the Tonight Show as well, they are the worst audience. They are the stupidest. I genuinely hate them. I really hate them. So I don't know if it's they are forced, but like everybody who walks on the stage, you get like 20 minutes of
but they tell them to applaud though, right? Is it not true?
Yeah, I think it's the machine.
The whole board saying like applaud now and stuff, like literally telling the audience. Really?
Yeah. It's like,
taking our jobs.
I think it's the American style that they have such long applauses and everything. I had a baby. I married. Russia bad. Russia good. They just clap at anything. It's just, I mean, I guess it's the producers putting the machine. And the whole show is like 40 minutes, and about 30 minutes of these idiots clapping like fucking penguins. And it's just, so I think it's the audience doesn't get it, and they start this righteous, what I like to call righteous laughter, that like whenever he makes a joke about Trump or Russia, you see that righteous laughter. It's a fake laughter mixed with applause. So I think they don't get it, and as usual they fucking laugh at the wrong time. And then he sort of, the Tesla bit comes after that. So I think
so. I think at the end the audience was supposed to go like ooh, or like make some other kind of noise, and they didn't make the right
I think
noise.
They like go with more nervous laughter or something. I think, or like you turn that around.
So maybe they didn't show them the right laugh. But my whole life, I was just telling you this before, and we'll move on quickly. Even as a kid, I always wondered who are the people who go on like Oprah and these other shows, because I never met someone who even knew someone who has been on one of those shows. So maybe someone, the viewers can tell us the process, because it's not also commercial events. I mean, where did people go and buy the tickets back in the day? Like in the 90s, there was no internet really. If you wanted to go on Oprah's show, you called them. I mean, like, I don't know.
In a letter, but yeah, I mean, I don't believe people should be judged based on their clothing, race, religion, color, shape of head. I don't know, whatever. But I do think people should be judged if they do willingly attend these things. I think they should be these things. And if you go on a cruise, like these two types of people, I have no sympathy with. They
Yeah, I'm
should
not a big
become
fan of cruise.
second class citizens. Like, I mean, like, yeah, I don't know. Maybe we can give them an island somewhere, Madagascar or something, and they can live off there, and they can clap until the end of times together forever. But yeah, I have no sympathy
Funny
for
how
these
you
people.
threw people who go on cruises together. I feel like their audiences like overlap. Like someone who goes on Oprah also goes on a cruise. I don't know why. Maybe it's like
I
the
think
age.
they do. I think they do.
That was funny. But okay, Sam. So this last previous tweet we didn't kind of get. I don't know, Glenn or Bri. I don't think they watched the video properly. But this next Glenn tweet, now here he's spot on. So Crystal wrote, "I sincerely despise the xenophobic freedom fries bullshit." Sorry, I should have read the Glenn one first. But anyway, Glenn had tweeted that a famous restaurant in Sao Paulo, Brazil, known for its beef stroganoff, and I know that's big in Brazil, people love eating that, has announced that it's immediately,
Iran.
yeah, in Iran, a lot of places, has announced that it's immediately removing this item from its menu due to its Russian origins in solidarity with the people of Ukraine. So just to be sure, I clicked on the thing, went on the Instagram page, and I know a little bit of Portuguese, and based on my little bit of Portuguese, yeah, they did seem to say that they're removing this dish. I think it's solidarity with the Ukrainians or against the Russians. And I was just like, I think this has to be the most meaningless action in the history of mankind. Because I wouldn't even be surprised if apparently like beef stroganoff is kind of like an adoption of like a similar dish in Russia and like was transformed
in each country. It's
in like
different.
yeah, in countries.
No,
I mean, this has to be the most meaningless
haven't you heard
piece of
about
boycott
haven't you heard about the vodka thing?
Oh,
haven't you heard the
but
people
that
pouring out their vodkas?
Yeah.
That you understand?
I think no, that I don't understand. But I was gonna say that is more. That makes a bit more than this. Or like the company that changed its brand, but they did it for branding in order to keep on selling Russian.
No, I understand.
No,
that.
this no. I stand by this. This. I mean, removing a food item from your menu is 100%. It's even a different category,
I think
and people pouring out their Russian.
They're changing the name.
Here is saying removing it. Glenn is saying removing.
Removing shit. But it's like freedom fries or the vodka one is really funny because technically still in Iran alcohol is illegal technically, but like a couple of Iranian actors, the most famous Iranian actors came on Instagram and was like, some people say I drink vodka, I like Russian vodka, I don't like Russian vodka, and he throws the bottle of vodka out of this, I don't know, wherever. So by the way, I love that in Iran kind of we are having a sort of a cultural revolution, but through the main way it's happening through, guys, don't tell anyone. Like, just let's not make a big deal out of it. Like, slowly there is hijab is sort of, slowly you see, and then with the vodka thing, I was very surprised. People on Instagram all throwing their vodkas. Iranian people are very pro-Ukraine for some goddamn reason. But yeah. So yeah, but these acts are the best because they make you feel good about yourself and you feel you participated in a global thing, while in fact you have done nothing except just made yourself feel a tiny bit better for a couple of hours. It's not even long lasting.
I agree. But
it's virtuous signal.
This one though has to be like the quintessential virtue signaling act of all time. I mean, I can't think of like one more ridiculous thing I've heard when it comes to boycott.
Freedom fries.
True.
Oh, in Canada, they're changing the name of this. Oh, poutine. You know, poutine, the French fry. Yeah. In some restaurants in Canada, they stopped calling it poutine. It's like fries with sauce.
Maybe that's a good move because it is accurate. That whole poutine thing that people make a big deal is just fries with like some tomato garbage and like beef sauce put on it. Okay. Sorry if people really like it, but never been a big fan of.
Hey, whoa!
I'm not a big fan of poutines. Maybe because I'm vegan.
Get nasty about poutine.
And you don't find the vegan version a good one, but you don't find good vegan versions. But okay, so maybe something good is coming out of it. Quebec is gonna lose
Canada naming of our food items. That's what
Canada is losing its one only food that people talk about and refer to.
Putin is from Canada.
I mean, yeah, Quebec and Montreal. Yeah, it's very well known.
I thought it's from Russia. I thought that's why they're I thought it's a Russian thing. So why are they banning it then?
Maybe
Just
because
because
the
it
word
sounds like Putin?
I don't know. You're telling me this is the first time I'm hearing about
Oh
it,
my
so I don't
God,
know.
this is ridiculous. Oh my, I thought it's a Russian food. I mean, they're just banning it because the name.
I don't know. I'm just reacting to what you're saying.
Yeah.
Let's come back to this in our
Yeah, I would love it though, because as
Friday
you know,
episode.
Putin in Farsi means boots. So I wonder if in Iran they're gonna ban boots. You're not gonna have boots anymore, guys. No more boots. Fucking hell.
I don't know what to say.
So my headphones might run out. So.
Well, we're almost done. Hopefully it won't, because we have 3 more to go. This one's hilarious. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
This person, Michael McFall, apparently, according to
Oh
the
my
tweet,
God, this is great.
I don't know him. I don't, but apparently he's a policy maker. He wrote, reading that Russia has blocked Twitter and Facebook. Can people in Russia confirm this view? One of our leading foreign policy thinkers, like best. It's like, I don't even find that the most ironic part. Like the fact that for this, you would need some people on the ground to confirm it like that. I mean, I'm sure I mean,
you have you just turn your fucking NordVPN to Russia and try.
Yeah.
You idiot. No, but then on Twitter, asking if Twitter has.
But he said, can people in Russian confirm this news? So maybe that wasn't a spelling mistake or a type in. So he meant like someone writes in Russian and I'll believe them. I don't know. But I love the tweet. It's just the most like simple, like, you know, tweet response. One of our leading foreign policy thinkers. That's it.
Yeah, Keith Guess. I'm gonna definitely check him out.
That's it.
And I wonder what was his specialty, because it would be interesting to look at how he has used his expertise so far.
So we follow up. But okay, Sam, quick one. This Jimmy Dore one, there's not much to say. I just wanted to make a shout out to our own podcast, which is, he wrote, if you want to see facts trounced, established in propaganda, then watch Aaron Maté obliterates Dan Abraham's hypocritical embrace of selective censorship of views that he and US government don't like. So for mainstream media, this was a decent interview where they both talked back. All right, sorry everyone. So it turned out that we couldn't make it until the end of this video. Sam had to change his headphones quickly, but we're back. But yeah, as I was saying, I just wanted to refer to this tweet because we actually included the full episode in the full interview. Sorry, it's like 6 or 7 minutes long in our previous episode from last week, and of course it has timestamps. So you just go to our last podcast from this week. It's about like 5 or 6 hours long, and there are timestamps there. You can go right to this interview, which was, yeah, they got to talk, and you know, of course, I agreed with everything that Aaron was saying, and that guy makes some funny arguments, but it was refreshing the way he was behaving. And I think even Aaron Maté saw it that way. He wrote, thanks to blah, blah, blah for having me on. We debated the current campaign. And of course, the fact that they've removed RT in Western Europe and North America, which I even find it to be counter, like, you know, productive from them, but let alone.
We're doing this segment now. Hopefully we discuss this in our full show, but the campaign against Russian has been, I've never seen it. Like, this is talking about, like, you know, war on terror and Muslims. This is worse than that. I feel like this is worse than that. I mean, I'm not a Russian, so I don't know, but Jesus Christ, like they're pretty much firing anybody. Are you loyal? Are you loyal to Ukraine or not? No, get out.
I mean,
like,
taking them off scientific organizations, universities, academics, athletes, of course, even athletes not associated.
Orchestra guy.
Yeah, even athletes,
a couple of cellists
who aren't even in sports that have national sports, such as MMA. These are purely individual stuff, and it hasn't happened. But people are suggesting, like, why are you letting Russian fighters come and fight and all this? Like, there are these, like, you know, narratives floating around these people, and the funny part is so many of them are from like those regions like Dagestan and stuff that, you know, and they're not even with Putin they themselves, you know, of course there's harmony now, but it's not like, you know, they're sitting in the Kremlin. Far from that. They have their own little thing going on.
Man, and I remember like when everybody every day was going about Islamophobia, it's so bad after 9/11 and terrorist attacks and all that. It's still like in mainstream media everywhere you would have this token guy or on the mainstream, they would be like, majority of Muslims are actually good people. There is this minority, but now it's everybody's like, Russian? Are you with Russians?
No, you're spot on. I mean, at least this first 2 weeks, and maybe it's their honeymoon phase, but they're like not even trying to show like a sense of it's not the people, it's the government. I mean, all of this.
Yeah, very little.
Exactly. No, you're right. I mean, again, it's only been 2 weeks into this whole thing. Things could change, but yeah, right now I kind of agree. I mean, like we discussed in that other tweet. I mean, they're in Brazil they're removing beef stroganoff from menus. You're right. Nobody went after falafels after. Thank God.
Yes.
One thing that vegans can eat. Next thing you know, they would have removed falafels.
Falafels will be called chickpea balls from now.
Damn, this reminds me though. And then let's move on to the best tweet ever. But this reminds me, remember the comedian Masdro Brani kind of used to make this joke back in the day. He was like, you never see on TV where someone says like, I'm an Arab and I'm baking a cookie. And then it shows like the guy in a cooking show. It's always like, I'm terrorizing this person or killing that. So let's be, I bet there is that.
Again, but, I would say especially with like Muslim or Arabs or Easterners, like Asians, Chinese people, Japanese, it's just you can have two options. You have two options. Either bad guy, terrorist guy, or some form of a sort of a hippie, dippy, noble savage that teaches the main character about horses. Aren't horses nice? We should have more with nature in tune. Let us pray.
No, you're spot on with that.
Which is in a way worse. I much prefer the bad guys. I take the bad guys over the noble savage idiocy. Last Samurai, Dance with Wolves, all of that.
Totally agree with you there. But Sam, let's move on to the worst tweet. And I'm assuming this one's about Russia, Ukraine. It doesn't really make sense if it's about something else. So some stranger, which I don't know.
It makes sense if it is about Russia.
Some person, I don't know how it came up on my feed. I don't know who retweeted it. She wrote, "This hurts. When people all over the globe are becoming closer to each other, traveling, sharing, and celebrating good differences like culture, geography. Geography is I never heard people. I mean, that's a funny one. History, Olympics. We are reminded of the huge gulf authoritarian leaders built to separate, isolate, and control their people." Listen, Cynthia, I'm sure you're a really good person. All I want to say is that this kind of worldview that you have, if anything, it just confuses you and makes you miserable. I don't know, but I mean, I don't really have anything much to say. I think this tweet speaks for itself.
No, I want to know, how do you share geography? How do you share that?
Back when we have mountains. When people all over the globe are coming closer to each other, if she could even point to something to support that, or she'll be like social media.
Well, she's Olympics. That's her example.
History,
Olympics. By the way, which Olympics, which by the way had their lowest, like it recorded the lowest viewership ever. About like 3 people watched it, and they were all like family members of the sports people. So it's
I mean, more people would have watched it if it was in a Western European country and there wasn't like a soft boycott of it, of course. But
there is a good Iranian saying, which recently with the Ukraine thing, I've realized that it's very true. It's you might have heard it. مورچه رو آب میبره فکر میکنه دنیا رو آب برد, which is when an ant is drowning, when an ant is drowning, he thinks the whole world is drowning. And it's so fascinating to me that people like just because suddenly in Ukraine or in Europe, as they say, in Europe, oh my God, in Europe there is a war, suddenly they think the whole world, as if until yesterday like the world was this hunky-dory, like everybody was sharing flowers.
That was a really good saying.
From Nigeria going to Egypt, like, there was there was a war, there was a civil war in Ethiopia. Nobody gave a shit.
There is, I'm pretty sure. I mean, if the media could report on it, we would know. I think it's still going on. Yeah.
It's just nobody
Yemen,
cares.
I've
But
heard
suddenly,
rumors that it's still going on.
yeah, yeah, man, I
Libya,
heard there is something happening there, Cameron. What
Afghanistan,
is it?
apparently, but
You know,
definitely
it's
can't use the media to confirm it. I have to. Might have to actually go there now, you know, like they say, have to go on the ground to see what's happening. Now you might
Google.
have to.
I would say Google is still, thankfully.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a couple of years probably from now.
But okay, Sam, I think this was fun. So we'll be back with our regular episode on Friday. Hopefully, it'll be uploaded around Friday or Saturday. But yeah, as always, please leave your comments, questions, criticisms down below. We'll make sure to get to them. If not, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you in our next video. Thank you.